Okay, we are back. Been at work all day and been kind of working myself and trying to get caught up in my class. But I'd like to say I'm almost there. So now I can put my brain at ease. For the time being anyway. Let's get to case 10. The Ghost of Murders Past. Matthew, we're heading to the abandoned house where R.J. Fielding's car was last seen. We know Fielding's going to kill someone and we need to stop him. Hold up, Jake. We're just basing that on Greg Schmidt's ramblings, and the guy's completely cuckoo. Maybe, but his theory seems to hold water. All the individuals responsible for the Terrell murders are connected by the ghost of Abigail Riley, killed 5 years ago. She's haunting them because she blames them for her death. Fielding is the only one who hasn't been possessed yet, but if we're right, it's only a matter of time before he kills one of his loved ones. We need to get to that house where Abigail died. Jake, pull over! I think I saw a body on the side of the road. A body? Matthew, take Luke and get out there at once. Unfortunately, I've been working it since like 6 in the morning. Only having an occasional break in between. But I guess this is what happens when I keep getting restless and wanting to do other stuff. I've been kind of kicking myself lately because now I'm kind of in an iffy situation with my journalism class. Just kept putting everything off, and now that's one of my biggest regrets. But it's R.J. Fielding. Oh man, I am so not gonna get this star. Nope. Matthew, that's R.J. Fielding, and he's dead. What the heck? We were supposed to stop Fielding from killing someone, not getting killed. Could someone have gotten to Fielding before the ghost could possess him and force him to commit murder? And what's the deal with the way he's strung upside down? Right, the Hanged Man tarot card looks a lot like this. And tarot cards are our ghost's MO. Our vengeful ghost must be involved, but how? Let's check that flashlight for fingerprints, Matthew. And look, there's a weird box hidden under those leaves. Can you unlock it to see what's inside? And I will. And I gotta get stars, so sit tight, everybody. Okay, I got 8 stars, so let's go ahead and get these out of the way. Got it. There's a monster in this box, Matthew. That's no monster. It's a Geratinus horribilis, and I've been trying to catch him all day. Matthew, you say you know this man? Zeke Davis. I met your colleague back in Arizona. Didn't expect to bump into the feds again, I must admit. Right, federal agents. That's us, all right. I'm afraid we need to ask you some questions, Mr. Davis. So, what can I do for the FBI? I'm afraid there's been a murder, Mr. Davis. A man named R.J. Fielding is dead. Can you explain your whereabouts this evening? I told you I was just trying to catch this rare lizard. I had no beef with Mr. Fielding. So you knew the victim. Mr. Fielding got in touch with me a few days ago to discuss how his company could go greener. We met at his office to talk carbon footprints and composting. It was refreshing to meet someone in the oil industry who actually cares about the environment. It's just a crying shame that he was killed before he could put it into practice. I hope his family opts for a green burial. Right. Please stay close to our RVs while we investigate, Mr. Davis. We may need to question you again. Got the 9 in time. Let's see if those fingerprints on the flashlight match anyone we know, Matthew. Arthur Darkwood. The fingerprints on the flashlight belong to Arthur Darkwood. You remember him, Matthew? He's that author we met while investigating Bigfoot's murder in Oregon. Last time we crossed paths, we pretended to be fans of his books. I wonder what he was doing. Wait, did you hear that twig break, Matthew? Hello? Mr. Darkwood? Okay. Let's see what Arthur Darkwood is doing in this part of town. Hello? Is anyone... Arg! Calm down, Mr. Darkwood. It's just us. We met in Oregon, remember? We're fans of your books. Oh, it's you, Matthew. You scared the living daylights out of me. But thank goodness you're here. I got lost on the road and blew a tire. I walked down the road looking for help, but all I found was an abandoned house. It's really rather creepy out here, and I'd sure like to get her back on the road. Do you have a wrench I could borrow? I'm afraid you can't go anywhere just yet, Mr. Darkwood. See, there's been a murder, and the police have cordoned off the road up ahead. A murder? How ghastly. Yeah, the victim was a certain R.J. Fielding. Maybe you've heard of him? Sure, he's like that oil magnate who's always in the news, right? I would have thought a guy like him could afford a bodyguard. Anyway, thanks for the heads up, Matthew. I'll get to work replacing my tire while I wait for the police to reopen the road. Good thing he bought our cover story, Matthew. Now let's check out that house Fielding visited for ourselves. This is where our ghost was killed in an occult ritual 5 years ago, Matthew. From the looks of it, it's been abandoned much longer than that. What I don't get is why Fielding would have come back here. If there was a vindictive ghost trying to possess me, I would have returned to where they were killed. I'd run in the opposite direction. Anyway, only a human could have strung Fielding up to die, and human killers leave behind clues. This briefcase belongs to the victim, Matthew. Let's look inside before we put that painting back together. Only 4 stars. Just a moment, folks. Okay, I turned out the lights. I'm gonna be going to bed in a few minutes, but I better get this out of the way. Got it. Matthew, this painting is barely dried. The artist must be around here somewhere. Oh, well spotted. It's signed by Axel Bross, that artist we met back in New Mexico. Axel was a bit of a weirdo from what I recall, and lurking around an abandoned house doesn't give him any sanity points either. Let's get our PI act on and ask Mr. Bross if he's seen anything weird. Mr. Bross, what are you doing hanging around this abandoned house? Why, drawing inspiration, of course. It's so wonderfully eerie, it gives me frissons. In fact, I'm quite tempted to buy the place and turn it into an artist's retreat for like-minded individuals. You might change your mind once you hear that a murder's been committed nearby. The victim's a certain R.J. Fielding. Does that ring any bells? A murder? What perfect timing. It'll push the value down even further. Afraid I've never heard of this RJ fellow, though. Now excuse me, I need to call my real estate agent. there was a threat among Fielding's belongings. It reads, RJ, you'll swing for what you did. Be afraid, for the night is full of terrors and eternal darkness awaits you. That sounds like a reference to the murder, Matthew. This must have come from our killer. Maybe Felix can make something of this threat. Hours. I'll see you guys when these two are finished. So for now, this is Matthew. I'll see you soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the autopsy first. I had to get the rest of the stars earlier because I had some finals to finish. Or not finals, but missing assignments to finish. Matthew, I can't believe we were rushing to stop Fielding from killing someone under the ghost's influence, only to find him dead himself. Any leads on how he was killed? Well, the traces of chloroform around Fielding's mouth confirmed that he was knocked out prior to the murder. And judging by the bruising on his lower body, your killer dragged him to the bridge unconscious. Your killer then strung him upside down with rope, but the human body is not designed to remain inverted for long periods. Gravity causes your internal organs to drop down, squashing your lungs and resulting in asphyxia. So Fielding basically suffocated to death after being hung upside down. What a way to go. But that's not all. Your killer left traces of chicken fried steak on the rope when they tied him up. So our killer eats chicken fried steak, do they? They made a meat steak when they committed murder. Bad pun, I know. Now the threat. Guys, you know I'm an expert in the supernatural, right? Not a psychologist. Yes. Why do you ask? Because there's nothing remotely supernatural about this threat you sent me. But you like books and bits of paper. Yeah, ancient ones, not death threats. But since I wouldn't want you to go away empty-handed, I read the first psychology book I could get my hands on. The book said that people with phobias make unconscious references to the object of their fear. And given the references in the threat to eternal darkness and the night being full of terrors, it must have come from someone who is afraid of the dark. Are you sure? I mean, reading one book doesn't make you a psych expert. Note to self, Luke's deepest fear is appearing incompetent, which is why he questions my judgment. Alright. If you say the killer is afraid of the dark, then we believe you. I'm certain of it. Your killer is scared of the dark, but they should be more scared of you, Matthew. Matthew, let's recap. We traced R.J. Fielding's car to an abandoned house where he and several others were involved in an occult ritual 5 years ago. The ritual resulted in the death of a girl, who then returns as a ghost to haunt all the participants, possessing them and forcing them to murder their loved ones. We feared she'd do the same to RJ, but instead we found him murdered under a nearby bridge. Did somebody else get to him, or is this somehow still the work of our vengeful ghost? We found writer Arthur Darkwood on our crime scene with a burst tire. And we bumped into tree hugger Zeke Davis, who was looking for lizards. Not to mention we also crossed paths with artist Axel Bross, who wanted to turn the abandoned house into an artist retreat. Matthew, you're not going to believe this. What is it, Hope? I just intercepted a police radio transmission. Greg Schmidt has escaped from the psych hospital. And we'll see you guys for Chapter 2. Do not go anywhere. Okay, we are back. Let's start Chapter 2 of The Ghosts of Murders Past. We last left off with Hope. Yep. What? The crazy ex-cop who investigated the ghost's death during the ritual in that creepy house? The very same. He ambushed a security guard at the hospital and stole his gun. He's armed and dangerous, and more importantly, the police say he's hiding nearby. Oh man, this is the last thing we need, Matthew. We can't let this get in the way of our investigation, but we better keep an eye out for Greg. We know our victim visited the abandoned house, so let's scour the yard for clues. Got it. Well, I don't see any sign of Greg Schmidt, Matthew. But that cell phone belongs to our victim. Can you get it unlocked? And I wonder what that map is doing out here. We better recover the faded part. As for that chest of tools, taking a look through can't do any harm. Let's get down to work. Moment, folks. Okay. Nice work getting the victim's cell phone unlocked, Matthew. Let's send it to Hope. Binoculars. Or no, goggles. Matthew, why do the goggles you found among those tools look familiar? Right, they belong to Ronnie Hawk, the host of that paranormal trend vid channel I watched, The Phantom Zone. When we met Ronnie in Nevada, we pretended to be historians. Maybe the same shtick will get him talking again. According to his latest social media post, Ronnie's staying at a nearby motel. Let's return his goggles and ask if he saw anything. Matthew, what are you doing here? I haven't seen you since Nevada. We're here to return your goggles. We found them outside an abandoned house nearby. What were you doing there? Oh, the usual. Scouting out locations for new videos. Rumor had it that the place was super haunted. Speaking of haunted, does the name Abigail Riley mean anything to you? Nope. and the house was a total letdown. I didn't see anything ghostly or otherwise. People think being a content creator is easy, Matthew, but the internet never sleeps. I'm going out to vlog eating my chicken fried steak for dinner, just so that I have something to post. Oh boy. Oh, there we go. Matthew, this map is of the hospital where Greg was being held. And that looks a lot like an escape route. This confirms that transmission Hope intercepted. Greg's hiding somewhere nearby. We need to tread carefully here, Matthew. Not only is Greg armed, but he's definitely a few sandwiches short of a picnic. Let's find Greg and see if he can tell us anything about Fielding's murder. Alright, let's see if we can locate him. And looks like we did. Officer Schmidt, are you out here? Officer under attack. I repeat, officer under attack. I need backup. It's just us, officer. You remember Matthew, right? Yes, you came to interrogate me while I was being held unlawfully against my will. But I've escaped from my captors and I'm going to solve the tarot card murders once and for all. Then everybody will know I'm not crazy. Well, we support you 100%, but we're going to need you to hand over the gun you took when you ambushed the security guard. I mean, your captor, as you escaped. Gun? I don't have a gun. I wish I did, because it's awfully scary out here in the dark. Do you know what I also wish I had? Some chicken fried steak. I haven't eaten in hours. We'll rustle up a snack for you, officer, but I'm afraid you're going to have to stay with us for a while. I'll see you guys when the unlocked phone has run its course. See y'all soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the unlocked phone. Matthew, maybe it's just because I was homeschooled, but I find it strange that people keep in touch with their childhood friends. Nah, I feel the same way. You wouldn't catch me at a high school reunion. Though that might just be because I usually got kicked out before I could make friends. Anyway, why'd you bring it up? Because there was a photo that dates back to Fielding's college days on his phone. It shows him and Axel Bross. Axel Bross? But he claimed never to have heard of Fielding when we spoke to him. Something's not right here, Matthew. Let's ask Mr. Bross why he lied. Mr. Bross, why did you lie when we asked if you knew R.J. Fielding? Because he was dead to me long before he was killed. R.J. and I went to college together. He recently got in touch, saying he wanted to reconnect over my favorite dinner, chicken fried steak. But clearly he'd forgotten what a jerk he was at school. He bullied me for years. He kept locking me in the cupboard even though he knew I was afraid of the dark. So I turned him down and spent the evening listening to my Billy Kelson record instead. Besides, it's not like I, a visionary artist, would have had anything to discuss with a corporate slave. If you knew R.J. Fielding, perhaps you've heard of someone who was in his circle of friends, A certain Abigail Riley? The name doesn't ring any bells. Now, I came here to paint, so if you'll excuse me, I feel another masterpiece coming on. Matthew, if I ever get that obnoxious, please put me out of my misery. Now, what do you say we take another look around this house? Broken mirror. Okay. Oh, and I got the first star after all. I wouldn't let the chief hear me say it, but this place gives me the creeps, Matthew. The sooner we find a lead on Fielding's killer, the sooner we can get out of here. That hat looks like somebody stomped on it. Oh, you're right. That's Fielding's hat. It was missing when we found the body. Vacuuming up some of that powder might tell us who stomped on his hat. And you recall that Felix can extract mystical memories from mirrors, right? Let's put this one back together. Pretty windy outside in Hawaii. My home state, of course. Pretty sure the Kai Milano character from Travel in Time is based off of me. I wonder if those creators might have read my message to them. Let's put that sample from Fielding's hat under the microscope. Dirt from Crystal Caves. Huh, that powder on Fielding's hat was dirt from the Crystal Caves of Arizona. We only know of one suspect who visited those caves, Zeke Davis. But Zeke failed to mention an argument with Fielding. We ordered Zeke to stay close to our RVs after we caught him lurking around our crime scene earlier. Let's ask him what happened to Fielding's hat. Mr. Davis, we caught you hanging around our crime scene earlier. You claimed to be looking for lizards, but we've since found Fielding's hat that you stomped on. Oh, you found that, didn't you? Well, what I told you about us meeting up to discuss implementing greener business practices was true. Or at least, that's why I thought he invited me to meet him. In reality, it was just to blackmail me into silence. Fielding presented me with a bunch of photos of me driving a 4x4 and using single-use plastic. He threatened to publish them if I didn't stop speaking out against his company's practices. Clearly the photos were doctored. I care about the planet so much that I don't even eat meat, apart from the occasional chicken fried steak. And I keep all my lights turned off, despite being scared of the dark. But real or not, those photos would have destroyed my reputation. I'm not proud of it, but I lost my temper, threw his hat on the floor, and jumped on it before storming out. And then you decided to follow him here and finish him off once and for all. Is that it? No! I just vowed to work harder to save the planet from people like him. Got it. Matthew, now you fixed up that mirror. Maybe Felix can work his magic to see if it retains any mystical impressions. Okay, 12 hours. I'll see you guys when this is done. And for now, this is Matthew. I'll see you soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the mirror from Felix. Did you get the magic mirror thing working, Felix? The magic mirror thing requires a delicate balance of incantations and finely tuned instruments to actually see anything. It's not like just pushing an on-off button. Alright, but did you get it working? Of course I did, and prepare to have your mind blown, Matthew. See, the mirror captured an impression of the ghost, the angry spirit of Abigail Riley. So the ghost was there. We knew she had to be involved in Fielding's murder. Yes, but she had help. I couldn't see who she was talking to. But someone was agreeing to kill Fielding. Bingo! It all makes sense. Instead of possessing Fielding and forcing him to kill, the ghost decided to murder her final victim outright, with human help. Plus, I've got a lead on the human accomplice's identity. See, there was some music playing in the background. I looked it up and it was a musician called Billy Kelson. He was one of the pioneers of outlaw country music. Your killer must be a fan. So our killer listens to Billy Kelson, do they? They're outlaws for real now they've got blood on their hands. Oh, and I nearly forgot. Axel Bros mentioned being a fan of Kelson. I'll note it down. Matthew, we were rushing to stop R.J. Fielding from committing murder when we found him murdered himself. We know Abigail Riley's ghost was definitely involved in the murder and her motive is clear: revenge. But we also know that Abigail had a human accomplice. So which of our suspects helped her, and why? We managed to detain ex-cop and hospital escapee Greg Schmidt. He's hell-bent on proving the ghost was behind the murders, which makes him an unlikely accomplice, but he's also extremely unpredictable. We also discovered that Axel Bros knew Fielding from their college days. Fielding recently tried to reconnect with him, but Axel was having none of it. And then there's Zeke Davis. He claims Fielding was blackmailing him. His motive is strongest by far, but could he have really teamed up with a ghost? Guess who has yet another lead, Matthew? What now, Hope? Take a look at what's just been posted on TrendVid. Oh my. We'll see you guys for Chapter 3. Okay, we are back. Let's start Chapter 3 of The Ghost of Murders Past. We last left off with Hope saying that she got another lead. This. Tune into the Phantom Zone tomorrow for a special pre-recorded interview with a real live ghost. And I recognize that wallpaper. This was filmed at the abandoned house. What the heck? Ronnie said he didn't see anything supernatural there either. Earlier. But this suggests otherwise. Could Ronnie be the human who helped the ghost kill Fielding? Let's question him. Ronnie, you said you didn't see anything supernatural at that abandoned house, yet you apparently filmed an interview with a ghost there. I was too afraid to tell you the truth. I did encounter Abigail Riley's ghost. I was so excited. My first conversation with the Phantom. I explained to her how I dedicated my life to exploring the paranormal and that my TrendVid followers would be delighted when I told them I'd spoken with a specter. And that's when she offered to go one step further. She said she'd let me film an interview with her, as long as I did something in exchange. Please tell me you didn't agree to kill Fielding? No, of course not. I just agreed to convince him to go to the house. I figured the ghost would just give him a bit of a fright. So you can imagine how I felt when you told me he'd been killed. I really hope you're telling the truth, Ronnie, because if you killed Fielding just for an interview, we will find out. Let's take another look outside that house, Matthew. Got it. Got it. I didn't get the first star. This faded letter comes from a law firm, Matthew, and apparently they were acting on behalf of our victim. We need to know what this was about. Can you recover the faded writing? And this dirty sack looks weird. We better see what's inside. Matthew, we're so close to finding out who helped the ghosts murder Fielding. One final push and we'll have them. I need to get stars. Sit tight, folks. Okay, we are back. And I got all 5 stars already, so... a gag order. Nice work. You've recovered the contents of that letter from Fielding's lawyers. It reads, "You are hereby instructed to refrain from using our client's name or likeness. Failure to do so will result in court proceedings and possible jail time." This is a gag order, Matthew, but the name of the person it was addressed to has been torn off. It's not much to go on, but maybe Hope can use that case number to figure out who it was sent to. Okay, it was 9 hours. I should have done this before the lunch hour, but that's alright. Got myself a little bit more cash. Using a debit card on that, but I will not tell you my number. Because that's personal information. A gun. Matthew, there's a gun in this bag. Hang on a minute. That police transmission said that Greg stole a gun when he escaped from the hospital. But when we spoke to Greg, he denied it. Clearly he lied. Let's ask him why. Matthew, this has been lovely, but I must get back to work. As much as I like Billy Kelson's music, I can't stand around listening to it with this lizard fellow all night. I'm afraid you won't be going anywhere, officer. You need to tell us why you lied about having a gun. You sound just like that Fielding guy, going on about how I shouldn't be carrying a gun. Has everyone forgotten that I'm a law enforcement official? It's my job to point a gun at bad guys like him. Whoa, rewind. Are you telling us that you crossed paths with Fielding? I attempted to elicit a confession from an individual suspected of a murder 5 years ago, yes. If Fielding would just reveal what he and his friends did, I could prove my ghost theory and people would start taking me seriously. But Fielding outright refused, said he died before confessing. Please tell us you didn't put that statement to the test. Police officers don't murder people, Matthew. I simply retreated to reassess tactics. This is why. Yep, I'm speeding that up. Are we interrupting? Nothing. I mean, I didn't see you there, Matthew. You must be here for that letter. The case number on it was a godsend. It led me to the jurisdiction in which the gag order was filed, which allowed me to locate the official records. That letter was sent to Arthur Darkwood. Fielding sent Arthur Darkwood a gag order, but Arthur claimed he didn't know Fielding personally when we questioned him before. Let's find out why, Matthew. Hey Matthew, I sure hope the police will open the road by the time I'm done fixing my tire. I didn't want to say anything earlier, but I'm kind of scared of the dark. Even listening to Billy Kelson isn't helping. That's ironic, given that you write spooky books. Anyhow, we found this letter of yours. We're curious. Why didn't you mention you'd had dealings with Fielding earlier? Because I was hoping to forget it ever happened. RJ and I bumped into each other in a bar a few weeks back. We got talking, had a few drinks. But as the night wore on and we got progressively drunker, he started coming out with the weirdest stuff. RJ said that he didn't deserve the life he had, that he never should have found that oil reserve which made him rich. It sounded like an interesting premise for a story. A new season of Weirder Stuff was just picked up by the network and I'm in desperate need of material, so I jotted it all down. But then I received that gag order from his lawyers. And did Fielding mention a certain Abigail Riley? Or a, ghost? Ha! No, he didn't mention ghosts. Normally that's the writer's job, dreaming up supernatural creatures. Matthew, give me a status report. Are we any closer to solving this murder? Identifying the human accomplice who helped the ghost kill Fielding is proving difficult. Ronnie Hawk admitted to helping her lure Fielding to the house, but denies any knowledge of the murder. Greg Schmidt, meanwhile, confessed to trying to extract a confession from the victim at gunpoint, but claims not to have gone any further. Well, this murder, a murder, sounds like if I search your RV, I'm going to find a body. Am I wrong? Madison, this isn't a good time. We're neck deep in... In what exactly? I knew you were up to no good from day one, and now I finally caught you red-handed. You're under arrest. Under arrest? Hold on. Another word and I'll cuff you too, son. Now out of my way. Oh man, this is all we need, Matthew. We've got a murderous ghost and her accomplice on the loose, and now our chief's been arrested. You're right. There's nothing we can do to help the chief, but we can finish this investigation. Let's return to the scene of the crime. Sometimes I wonder if Madison even knows what he's doing. Got it. Matthew, we need to hurry up and solve this murder so we can turn our attention to getting the chief out of custody. Well spotted. That rope looks like the one used to tie the victim up. Can you collect some of those fibers? And you're right. These pieces of fabric stink of chloroform. This must be what our killer used to knock Fielding out. Don't get your face too close as you put it back together. Moment again. Okay. I feel a little sneezes coming on, but hopefully I can get this over with quickly. Got it. We need to get those fibers from the rope spool to Priya at once, Matthew. Okay, there we go. Let's see if Ben can confirm that this chloroform-soaked handkerchief was used on Fielding, Matthew. Okay, 9 hours, and I'll see you guys when these two are finished. See y'all soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the money fibers, and let's put a killer behind bars. Matthew, is it true that the chief has been arrested? Afraid so. Madison is on our case, big time, which means we need to solve this murder ASAP. Then I'll cut to the chase. See, a quick cleanup job allowed me to determine that underneath all the mud, those fibers from the rope spool were pale yellow. And since I found traces of your victim's blood on the rope, those fibers must have come from your killer. They're wearing pale yellow, Matthew. So our killer's wearing pale yellow. Their yellow-bellied behavior has earned them a spot in prison. Matthew, it takes me back to the good old days. Jake getting in trouble with the authorities. Of course, I used to be right there with him in custody. Aren't you even a tiny bit concerned that he's locked up? I am, actually. Small-town cops for one thing, but having the FBI on our case ain't great. Madison's out for blood, and the chief ain't good at sweet-talking his way out of a jam. But we gotta focus on the case. I can confirm that the handkerchief you sent me was soaked in chloroform and used to knock Fielding out. I found traces of his skin cells on it. But I also found traces of foreign DNA, which must have come from your killer. It wasn't much, but I can tell you that your killer has green eyes. But we've got the green light to go get this green-eyed killer, Matthew. Matthew, it's finally time to learn who helped the ghosts kill Fielding. Hold up, you two. You've got a human killer and a grouchy ghost on your hands. Don't tell me you're thinking of going this alone. You know, don't even answer that. I'm coming as backup, whether you like it or not. Fine, but leave the talking to me and Matthew. Now let's go get him, Matthew. And it isn't Zeke Davis. It's definitely not Arthur Darkwood. No surprise. Axel Bross, you're under arrest for the murder of R.J. Fielding. We know you attacked him with chloroform before dragging his unconscious body to the bridge. Then you hung him upside down and left him to die. I might be inspired by the ghoulish, but not enough to kill someone for it. No, but you'd do it to help the ghost, wouldn't you? Ghost? What are you talking about? You know what we're talking about. The ghost of Abigail Riley. You said you never heard of her, but you were lying, weren't you? Alright, I confess. I loved Abigail when she was alive, and I love her still. Still? You're in love with the ghost? Yes, Abigail might no longer be corporeal, but we still love each other. But when Abigail told me she wanted Fielding dead, I pledged to help my beloved. And Fielding deserved it. And more. He and the others sacrificed my beloved Abigail to a demon. A demon? That's what Fielding and company summoned with the ritual? Yes, it started off as nothing more than a college lark. They'd heard rumors that summoning a demon would oblige it to bestow knowledge on them, and thought it'd be fun to try it. What they hadn't bargained on was the demon asking for something in exchange. Abigail's life. Fielding and the others could have stopped the ritual there and then, but instead they decided to sacrifice Abigail to the demon. They valued knowledge over her life. In exchange, the demon told them the location of natural resources which would make them rich. Fielding learned the location of the oil deposit, Justine, the gold mine, and so on. So that's why you hung Fielding up like the Hanged Man tarot card. Because it depicts the Norse god Odin, who suspended himself from a tree in order to gain knowledge. Funny, you're not as stupid as you seemed during our last encounter, Matthew. Abigail, this has to stop. You've punished the culprits. What more do you want? I want you to let my dear Axel go. We can't do that. He committed a murder. Then I guess I'll just have to use you as leverage. Matthew, I felt the ghost go inside of me. I can't control my arms. We're taking Luke with us, Matthew. If you come after us, Abigail will make him pull the trigger. Oh my God, Matthew, the ghost and Axel have run off with Luke. Matthew, this is terrible. You figured out that Axel Bross killed Fielding out of love for the ghost. But when you went to arrest him, the ghost possessed Luke, and now Axel and the ghost are on the run with him. If only the chief were here, he'd know what to do, but Agent Matheson's got him in custody. It's up to us to figure this out, Matthew. Let's get down to work. And we're gonna save Luke in Something Wicked Comes This Way 5-5. Something Wicked This Way Comes 5-5, and I'll see you for that. Okay, we are back. Let's start Something Wicked This Way Comes 5-5, and let's see if we can save Luke. Matthew, this is terrible. We went to arrest Axel Bros for murdering Fielding for the ghost. But Abigail's ghost possessed Luke and made him run off with Axel. If the chief were here, he'd know what to do, but Agent Matheson's got him in custody. Then you better talk Matheson into releasing him. Matthew, all this time I was convinced Justine would never kill anyone. But that Axel guy claims she and her friends allowed Abigail to be sacrificed to a demon. We need to hear Justine's side of the story, Matthew. I'll be waiting for you at the prison once you're done speaking to Matheson with Felix. Agent Matheson, I know this is going to sound strange, but we have an emergency and we really need our chief back. Huh, what kind of emergency could you freaks possibly have? If you must know, our friend has been possessed by a ghost. Ha! Good one, Matthew. What do you think this is, an episode of the Y-Files? We're serious! There's no time to explain, but we can prove it to you if you come with us. And we'll even hand you a human killer. If you're not convinced by the time we're done, you can charge us with whatever you like. You're darn right I will. I will fetch your chief. Matthew, is it true? Abigail's ghost possessed Luke and made him run away with Axel? Yes, we need to find him ASAP. We need to find them ASAP. And Agent Matheson will be joining us on our fun family outing to exorcise a ghost. You guys do know I can still change my mind, right? So I suggest you cool it with the attitude. Sorry, man. We gotta go check outside the abandoned house, ASAP. We'll explain everything on the way. So let me get this straight. We're here to figure out where a ghost and their human accomplice took your buddy. Insane, isn't it? And you guys thought working for the FBI was wild. Cut the small talk, you two. You found Abigail Riley's notebook, Matthew. Get it unlocked, quick. open, Matthew. Congratulations, you managed to pick a simple lock. Now what? Now we figure out where the ghost and Axel might have taken Luke. Felix, take that notebook back to your RV and see what you can find.
Gwen, I'm so happy to see... Cut it out, Justine. I believed you were innocent all this time. But you weren't. You were an accomplice in Abigail Riley's death. You know about that? Yes, and it was Abigail's ghost that possessed you and made you kill your sister out of revenge. A ghost? That's insane. Not as insane as summoning a demon and letting them kill your friend. And for what? To become rich? So you really do know everything. Believe me, not a day goes by that I don't regret what we did. We were young and stupid. How did you even know how to summon a demon? We got a spell book for some local woman calling herself a witch. All she asked for in exchange was some cattail pollen mixed into a paste. A local witch? Then that's who we need to talk to. I wish we were parting ways on better terms, Justine, but I wish you well for the future. Me too, Gwen. And please take this money. It was never really mine anyway. Matthew, I feel like such a fool for believing Justine's innocent act. But that's the least of our problems, because she and the others summoned a real-life demon. This demon must be the malevolent force Dr. Aculus was worried about, the one that was draining life out of the land. Justine said they got the spell to summon the demon from a local witch, who requested cattail pollen paste in exchange for the information. If we want her to tell us how to get rid of this demon, we better get on her good side. I think I saw some cattail plants down by Devilman's Bridge. Let's check it out. Got it. Those are definitely cattail plants, Matthew. Can you collect some of that pollen? Oh, nice. That'll certainly help. Now you've collected some pollen from those cattail plants, Priya can mix it into a paste. I just hope this will be enough to get the witch talking about that demon Justine and the others summoned. Let's get the pollen to Priya. Six hours? Yep. Okay, I'll see you guys when these two are finished. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of Abigail's notebook. So this is where you people spend your time cooking up theories about things that go bump in the night, is it? What's the matter? Starting to get scared about seeing a real-life ghost agent? Let's focus. Any leads on where the ghost might be headed with Luke? Well, Abigail was a keen artist, just like Axel, and her notebook was filled with sketches of statues from the garden of a nearby museum. She clearly loved it there. Then with any luck, that's where the ghost and Axel might have taken Luke. Have you got everything you need for an exorcism? Candles and sage at the ready, but there's one problem. Wait, hold on. Candles and sage at the ready, but there's one problem. When we find Luke, Axel is sure to be nearby. We can't risk him interfering in the exorcism. The FBI would opt for a snatch and grab. Sneak in, detain Axel, and then make your move on the ghost. Wait, what am I saying? I almost forgot that this whole thing is a joke. That could actually work, Matthew. Who'd have thought you'd come in useful, Agent? So we agree. Let's sneak into the museum and catch Axel so he can't stop us exorcising the ghost from Luke. Where are you, my beloved? Axel Bros, we're detaining you for the murder of R.J. Fielding. Cuff him, Matheson. I can't believe I'm taking orders from you people. But fine, I'm taking you into FBI custody, Mr. Bros. Quick, Matthew, we need to go perform that exorcism on Luke before the ghost realizes what's happened. Matheson, you and I better stand aside. Felix will handle this. Abigail, we demand that you show yourself. How dare you come here? Take one step closer and I'll blow your friend's brains out. That won't help Axel. That's right, we have him in custody. Oh, evil spirit, I drive thee out of this body. No, stop! Relinquish your hold on this innocent soul. Arrgh! This won't be the last you see of me, Matthew. I really thought I'd seen it all, Matthew, but being possessed by a ghost was something else. You've had a rough time of it, Luke. You should get yourself back to base. As for our friend here, you okay, Agent? We don't have time for this, Matheson. Get up! But a ghost! There was a ghost inside that boy. Yes, and she'll possess someone else if we don't do something, and quick. We must convince her to pass her over to the other side. Axel knows Abigail better than anyone else. He should be able to help. Matheson, you've got him in FBI custody. Take him to us. The game's over, Mr. Bros. You're under arrest for the murder of R.J. Fielding. Abigail will come for me. Let me handle this, Matheson. Look, Axel, it's over. Everyone involved in Abigail's death has been punished. Jesse and Justine are in jail, and the others are all dead. But none of that is going to bring Abigail back. She needs to find peace. You're right, Matthew. I want Abigail to be able to move on. That's where you come in. How can we help her find peace? She's angry. She can't see past her friend's betrayal. But if Abigail's reminded that someone truly loved her, maybe she'll find peace. Abigail was wearing a ring I gifted her when she died. I looked for it but never found it. If you can return it to her, she'll be reminded of the love I felt and still feel for her. Thank you, Axel. We'll leave you in Agent Matheson's hands. Matthew, we need to return to the house to find that ring. Agent Matheson can join us there, and we better grab a snack on the way. Got it. Matthew, if you think the ring Axel gave to Abigail might be in that flower pot, you better look through it. We're on it, Chief. Let's search the flower pot. Got it, finally. That ring from the flower pot is the one Axel gave to Abigail. Let's just hope he's right about it being enough to convince her to pass over. I know what's happening. We're all having some sort of group hallucination. The thing we saw earlier was just a figment of our imaginations. Seeing Abigail pass over might convince you otherwise. Let's go, Matthew. Madison, I can't believe what you're seeing. I can't even believe what you're saying, too. Haven't you interfered enough, Matthew? Abigail, you need to end this. Everyone involved in your death has paid for their crimes, as have their innocent loved ones. Nobody's innocent in this world. Besides, my so-called friends were happy to watch me die. So I figured their punishment should be to watch the people they love die. We know you suffered, but there are people in this world who loved and supported you, like Axel. He asked us to return this ring as a sign of his love, and to tell you that one day you'll reunite in the afterlife. But for now, he wants you to find peace. Oh my dear Axel, always wanting the best for me. Tell him that I'll be waiting for him on the other side, Matthew. Matthew, I'm sorry for not believing you before. Please take this as an apology. And now the pollen. Gwen, I heard about Justine. I'm so sorry things didn't work out for you. Thanks, Priya. I just can't believe I'm such a bad judge of character. But anyway, we've got bigger problems on our hands. We need that witch to give us the deets on this demon. Have you got that pollen? Yep, cattail pollen is a common spell ingredient when mixed into a paste. And I've added in some rose water to make it extra potent. Thanks, Priya. Now it's time to see what this witch can tell us about the demon. Let's go. What do you people want? My bones are aching and I'm in no mood to deal with whippersnappers. We brought you this cattail pollen. See, we need your help. Do you recall some college students who came to you 5 years ago wanting to know how to summon a demon? Ah yes, a bunch of kids craving power. The fools. And you help. We must all learn from our own mistakes. Who didn't summon a demon or two as a youngster? Learn from their mistakes. You could say that. They're all in jail or dead. But more importantly, what happened to the demon? Is it still in our world? Most likely, once a demon is summoned, only another demon can send it back to the netherworld. So if this demon is still on Earth, how do we find it? Find it? You don't. Demons can assume a human form. They walk and talk like you or me. But they're invincible and have powers we could only dream of, like teleportation. But of course, these powers must be fueled somehow. Demons drain the life force of others to sustain them. And you let those kids summon it into our world? I'm partial to a bit of chaos. Now be gone with you. Matthew, we've learned more about the demon than Justine and company summoned from that witch, Agnes Leek. Apparently, demons have a whole host of powers, from teleportation to taking on a human appearance, and worse, they can't be banished by a human. This means the demon is probably still around, and we wouldn't even know that they're a demon, not to mention that there might be others. Matthew, let's regroup to consider our next step. Matthew, I can't believe I fell for the wrong person yet again. Justine wasn't innocent at all. At least you didn't get possessed by a ghost. I take it you managed to convince Abigail Riley to pass over, Matthew? Yes, and Axel Bross is safe in FBI custody. And speaking of FBI, Agent Matheson won't be bothering us again. He had a rude awakening, seeing a ghost for the first time. As for Schmidt, it turns out he was right about the ghost all along. But since he's not safe to be released, we returned him to the hospital. Matthew and I also made progress learning about the demon that was summoned. According to the witch who gave Fielding and Company the spell, they're unkillable, able to take on a human disguise and have crazy powers like teleportation. This particular demon must be responsible for those livestock deaths in the Southwest, since they began when it was summoned 5 years ago. But since demons can enter our world via a summoning spell, there might be others out there. Matthew, the strangest thing just happened. We received an email warning us to stop looking into demons. I can't be sure where the email originated from, but it came via a server in the Rockies. What? But Matthew only just spoke to the witch. Clearly somebody's keeping tabs on us. So if that email came via the Rockies, that's where we're heading next. All right. And we're in a new district. Okay. December 26th, the day after Christmas. And I'll see you guys until then. But for now, I got one last thing to do. Sticker packs. Another 5 new ones. Alright. And that'll do. Then I'll be seeing you guys on December 26th. So Merry Christmas, or Merry Early Christmas, everybody. I'll see y'all soon.